This video will be the only OnlyFans marketing guide you'll ever need in order to grow, make money, and understand the OFM space. I'm gonna do my very best to blow your mind, and I hope you walk away from the video with a ton of newfound knowledge and resources that can help you. So, who am I and why should you listen to me? I'm Renato, the co-founder of TickFusion.com, where we help OnlyFans agencies and creators scale their organic social media accounts like TikTok, Instagram, etc. I've been in the OFM space for around 20 months at this point, and in that time I created over 1,500 TikTok accounts and uploaded tens of thousands of videos to the platform. This in return allows me to show you the things no one else can show and tell you the things no one else can say. And in this video I'm going to try to compress for you as much value into as little time as possible, and I hope you find that valuable. So I'm going to teach you the concepts that most agency owners and creators get wrong, and that makes them miss out on a ton of profit. We're talking like tens, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I'm going to do my best to explain to you all of those concepts, why they matter, and how you should approach all the things we discuss in this video, along with frameworks that can help you solve issues in the future. And so the first thing I want to talk about is you're not treating OnlyFans as a business. So, the mistake that way too many people make in the OFM space is that they don't treat OFM like a business. Most people just like to call themselves an online pimp and have no idea what they're doing. This is the idea that I'm going to focus on the most in this guide. It is quite literally the most important thing to understand if you want to succeed as an OnlyFans agency owner or creator. It is the thing that will decide if you succeed or fail, so listen carefully. And the most interesting thing is, like, most of the problems you face are because of this exact issue. The reason why you don't have enough traffic, the reason why you don't make as much money, the reason why you don't get subs on OnlyFans is because you are missing the most fundamental thing, and that is to understand this is a business. Now, what do I mean by that? What do I mean by this as a business? So OnlyFans in itself, being a sexually centered sector, makes it easy to make money in, because sex sells. It's been like that for decades. Sex always sells. Now, if it's already a quote-unquote stupid sector, imagine how much money you can make if you just use 10% of your brain and apply some basic business lessons to it. So again, what do I mean by OFM as a business? Take a look at what the most successful OnlyFans creators are doing. All of them have a brand, and most people don't even understand the concept of a brand, so I'm gonna teach you about it. I'll spend a lot of time in this video discussing what a brand is, because you have to heavily understand what it is and examples on how to use it to your advantage. So, let's get into the concept of brand. So you've probably heard the term, all publicity is good publicity. So even if you did something stupid or controversial, it should be good publicity. That is similar to what I'll explain here. So as I said before, take a look at what the most successful OnlyFans creators are doing. All of them have a brand. So when someone sees your model, what we want to achieve is you want their name, your model's name, to pop up in your head, just as it would for like Mr. Beast, for example. You want your model to be a brand, not just another girl they masturbate to. So you have to understand advertising and branding. They are two different concepts. And I'll try to explain the two in very simple terms so it's easy to understand for you. Advertising is the process of making people know. And branding is what you made them know. So let's take Amaranth for example. She is one of the most successful OF creators and makes a ton of money. She is the perfect example of advertising and branding. She is a Twitch streamer and YouTuber, and that's how she lets people know of her. That's her advertising. So YouTube and Twitch streaming. And what does she make them know? That's where the branding comes in. What did you let them know? She lets her viewers know that she is a good-looking redhead with big boobs and ass. So if that's your type and you're attracted to her, you're gonna want to jerk off to her when you're horny. And newsflash, men are horny 90% of the time. And that's why the sex industry makes so much money. And then all she has to do is let them know she has an OnlyFans, and she suddenly has infinite traffic. It just keeps coming in. And let me ask you a question now. What method is she using? I'm gonna discuss the topic of methods quite a lot. So, what method is she doing? Literally nothing. She is simply advertising herself constantly and building a brand through social media. I am heavily not in the favor of methods, and I'm gonna discuss why. So, I'm not saying your model should now go start becoming a Twitch streamer and upload videos on YouTube. That would take months and maybe even years, of course. It's a very long-term plan. You don't even know if you're gonna be with that model forever. But what I am saying is you should try to build a brand for your model. Methods only last for a certain period of time and take lots of your time away. So if you don't invest your time constantly into dating apps or Reddit, there are no results. I'm gonna expand on this a bit later. But usually, something that is easier usually doesn't yield as good of a return. But this is one of the rare cases where something that's easier actually has a much bigger return than something that is much harder. So dating apps and Reddit are a lot harder to run and take more effort, and their maximum potential isn't even that high. Most OFM agencies are focusing on the wrong thing. They have what I like to call the shiny object syndrome. So they're in a Telegram channel with other OFM guys, and they see someone mention they're making 20K a month with only Reddit. And you know what they do? Then they go start learning Reddit. Oh, I'm gonna try it. And then you're just chasing the next big thing instead of mastering just one thing, becoming the best at it. You keep chasing short-term methods instead of building something long-term. There are people who make a ton of money with Reddit or dating apps, but for 99% of the people, they are useless. If you have over 5 years of Reddit experience, own subreddits, and know the mods, sure, you can make a lot of money, but for most people, you won't make any money. And the reason for that is that all of these are methods. You should stay away from any special methods 9 out of 10 times. Do you think successful companies use special methods to grow their company, or do they follow certain business rules and lessons? Of course, there are nooks and crannies that you can apply to grow your business. Certain special methods no one knows, but 9 out of 10 times they're very stupid. So, methods also imply trying, and trying is a really, really bad thing, and I'm gonna expand on that a bit later. But anything you try is pretty much bound to fail. You need systems, not methods. And also, let me clarify something. I'm not even saying you can't make a lot of money with dating apps and Reddit. I'm saying you need to choose something and become the best at it. And it's not best to choose, it's best to choose something long term because methods can get patched. That makes them short term. Now, to tell you a story so you can understand this even better, I recently had a conversation and it changed the way I saw things. So, recently I was talking with a guy that owned a couple of jewelry stores, and then we also got into the topics of crypto, real estate, and stuff like that. And then we started talking about different types of investments, and I asked him what he thinks the best investment is. And he told me he thinks it's gold. And I was baffled. What do you mean gold is the best investment? Because for me, I know it's crypto. I know if in a bear market, around the general low, if I invest into Bitcoin and ETH, I know in the next 2 to 3 years it's gonna 2, 3, or 4x. And then I realized, well, hey, for him, for his case, gold is the best investment. He's a jewelry store owner. Of course, he knows everything about gold, how it moves, everything you need to know about gold. I don't know, I'm not educated into gold. He knows everything about it. And for him, that is the best investment. For me, it's not. So moral of the story is pick something and become the best at it. And in my opinion, it's best to pick something long term if you're already going to pick something. So now I'm going to expand on what that is. Take Reddit, for example. It's shit because you need people with spending power. They need to be in pain. Reddit users don't have spending power. They're only horny. Nothing else. They're just horny. Freeloaders. They usually don't have any money at all. So, for example, why do OnlyFans agencies and creators buy our Tick Fusion repurpose bot? Why do they buy our repurpose bot? Because they are in pain. They have a need to buy the repurpose bot because, for example, you have a model and you have two choices. She's either gonna make 30 videos a day, or she can make 3 videos, and then you use our Tick Fusion repurpose bot to create 30 more copies, and you can upload 3 videos on 10 different accounts from only those 3 videos she created. That's why people buy a repurpose bot. They're in pain in that certain issue that their model doesn't want to record 30 videos, and we provide the solution for that. Of course, there's other cases, this is just one of them. And let's also mention tube sites with Reddit. They are usually also shit. Like, anyone who tried tube sites knows it's just a bunch of freeloaders, nothing else. Like, if you get millions of views, it's gonna be a little profitable probably. But even then, just build a brand instead. The return is 10 times higher for both Reddit and tube sites. Yes, the users are in pain, like they are craving your product, your model. They're attracted to her. But they don't have any spending power. They have nothing. Get millions of views, you barely get anything in return. Like, again, they can work, but you're much better off building a brand. Much better off. There is no such thing as getting something from nothing. Methods aren't sustainable long term. They're based on nothing. They get patched every month, so you have to be looking for methods like a rat left and right. Build a brand. It's much more simple, and the return is 10 times higher. It's much more stable. You're creating a business. You need something that's stable, not something that can run away from you at your fingertips if they release a new update or something. So almost everyone that comes from e-whoring makes this mistake. Like, decide if you want to build a brand and a business, or do you want to do methods 10 hours a day for 4K a month? Like, pick your poison. Because those methods are directly connected to your time. If you don't do them, you don't get money. It's simple as that. But when you build a brand and have all of your followers in one place, a simple Instagram story or any video of her dancing in a slightly sexual way creates revenue consistently. That's the most important thing, consistency. And so take a look at what building a personal brand for your model can do for you. If you build her TikTok and Instagram out, she constantly has thousands of her fans at her fingertips. So you literally just post a story about a special discount you're having, and you get hundreds of new fans immediately. Building a personal brand is easier, it's long-term, and makes you more money in the process. And we took Amaranth as an example. Again, your model doesn't have to become a Twitch streamer. There are so many other examples of this. Take a look at any of the top creators on OnlyFans. Most of them are a part of an agency that actually knows what they're doing. They help their models build brands. The model becomes the brand, and anything they touch turns into gold. So what would you rather have? Your model be the brand, or you sitting 12 hours a day trying to master some kind of short-term dating app method that gets patched in a month? It's stupid. So instead of picking something short-term, pick something long-term. And again, for example, pick TikTok and Instagram and become the best at it. Then, when you have a network of accounts that have over 1 million followers, imagine how easy it is to build your model's brand. Let's say you have 1 million plus followers on Instagram across a couple of accounts. You start working with a new model, and you simply send all the traffic from those accounts to your model. You mention her in every reel you upload, you post a story, you post her video, and she starts creating good content. And in a short period of time, you can build her online presence tremendously. She herself will become a brand in a very short period of time, and you have a multiple 5-figure creator on a monthly basis very quickly. And to round this all up, I'm not saying you shouldn't do dating apps, Reddit, or any kind of method. Do them if you want. But understand that building your model's brand should be your #1 priority. Because at the end of the day, this is a business, not a game of secret methods. Don't complicate things that don't need to be complicated. Then, I want to get into the you don't understand what your business in topic and identifying issues. So, you don't understand what business you're in. Drugs, gambling, and adult/porn are the only sectors that bypass the rules of money. For example, you can know nothing about money and make a ton of it by dealing drugs. It's illegal, of course, so you shouldn't do it, but you can also be an idiot and win the lottery, like gambling. And you can sell adult content because men are so horny that they'll do anything for a bit of puss. Like they'll give you thousands of dollars just for a smell of it. And you don't even have to be smart to make money. You just have to sell them emotions. So, a good question to problem solve is to ask yourself this. If I could have only one thing be true about my business, for example, if we had more traffic, we would make a lot of money. If we just had that one thing, we would win. If you can be very clear about that one point of leverage and you attack it with absolute onslaught of hours of work and repetition and preparation for those repetitions, you will win. That is a good exercise to define the problem you're currently facing. When you identify the problem, you simply attack it. For all of this to make a bit more sense, let me tell you a story about a guy I know that's in the food truck business. So, he started out in the food truck business. He has only one truck, right? And he did very well for himself. He started making lots of profits, so he decided to buy another food truck. And so, when he bought another food truck, of course, he put it in a different location than the first one and started to try to scale it. So he hired new employees that were on the first food truck and he was on the second one. He would sometimes switch locations, but he was trying to scale. And he had an issue. The first food truck started doing terrible. His profits went down by a lot. People stopped coming. The food turned bad and his employees were flaking the whole time and he had a lot of issues. He didn't know what the issue was. And then he went to his biggest competitor. He went to like multiple locations that his biggest competitor had. And all of his employees were like robots. Like he went to locations that were hundreds of kilometers apart and they were all the same, every single employee. They were charismatic machines, heavily overpaid, big smile on their face, loved working there, and they weren't overworked. They had good pay, lots of rest, and lots of benefits, and they loved their boss. So he realized, that was the moment it hit him. Like he was spending way too much time. He was wondering, oh, why can't I scale this business? What's the issue now? At the start, when he had one food truck, he was just focusing, oh, let's get the best branding, let as many people know and make the best food. He focused a lot of time to make the best food. But now, when he had two food trucks, that wasn't the issue anymore. He already had good food, and he was still spending his days thinking, oh yeah, what's the best food to create? What new recipes can I make? He wasn't in the food business anymore. He was in the recruiting business. His issue was recruiting. He had bad employees. He had a bad system for those employees. It was bound to fail. So then, after talking to the biggest competitor he had, he realized he is in the recruiting business now and had to focus his time on recruiting instead of making the best food. So he focused on making the best food. He thought of new recipes and then he had issues. He should have been training employees. So as soon as he started focusing on recruiting, he successfully scaled his business and now he has multiple food trucks. He's doing great. So what I want you to learn from this is stop and analyze the situation you're in and define the problem you're facing. Define your current state, your desired state, and the obstacle to get there. And most of you should be focusing on getting more traffic and building a brand. And so if you don't even have traffic yet, you're in the traffic business. If you don't have good chatters or are struggling yourself with chatting, you are then in the recruiting business because you have to recruit people and train them to chat good. If everything is set up and on autopilot, you are then in the management business and you just have to make sure all the systems you created are functioning well. To actually succeed and progress in this game, you have to always identify the big problem stopping you from going to the next step. Identify your problem, solve it, and you get money in return. Like, you would be surprised to know that even people who have been in the OFM space for years now still make this mistake. Because it's much easier to say, yeah, these chatters are stupid as fuck, instead of actually taking responsibility and training them yourself. Do better. It's always your fault. Now, let's go into trying, about how trying is a myth and it's a flawed mentality from the start, bound to fail. So, let me explain. When you try, there is a chance of failure. And there is no such thing as trying. It's linear. It's either you did it or you didn't. It's binary, 0 or 1. You succeeded or you failed. There isn't a third outcome. You're either a winner or you're a loser. So, I have a couple of bullet points here, right? Hit me, smoking, getting in shape, and cut. I want to tell you quick stories about these bullet points and explain to you what I mean by them and how you can apply them to your own situation regarding OnlyFans and how you should form your mentality to win and succeed. So, there's a scene in The Matrix, in the first movie of The Matrix, where Morpheus and Neo are like fighting in a dojo, and Morpheus is teaching Neo that this is all the Matrix, like it's a simulation and stuff like that. And they're fighting in this dojo, and Neo can't seem to hit Morpheus. And he looks him in the eyes, and Morpheus tells him, "Stop trying to hit me, and hit me." And then Neo starts hitting him and then sends him through the wall, hits him hard, he sends him through the wall. And the moral of the story is, stop trying. That's what I mentioned in this chapter, I think, building a brand. Trying is a myth. It's bound to fail. You can't try things. You either do it or you don't. Stop trying methods. Way too many people have a problem in their language, in the way they speak. Oh, I'm gonna try TikTok. Oh, I'm gonna try Reddit. They try everything, nothing works, and they're not making money. Yeah, good for you. The same example is with smoking. Way too many people say, "Yo, yeah, I'm gonna try to quit smoking," and then they quit for a month or two, and then they get hooked again. It's because they tried. When you try, you're literally bound to fail because you're just trying it. You're gonna go back to your old ways very soon. So there is no such thing as try. The same with getting in shape. It's the same thing. Way too many, "Oh, I'm gonna try to get in shape." No, do it. What do you mean you're gonna try? Do it. The same thing here. You can't say, "Oh, I'm gonna try a method." No. Form a 3-6 month plan. Hey, I'm gonna create a huge network of Instagram accounts. I'm gonna create a huge network of TikTok accounts. I'm gonna get so much traffic that my head's gonna hurt how much traffic I'm gonna have. Traffic is never gonna be an issue again. Not trying. Don't try. Trying is bound to fail. I'm not even gonna discuss the fourth one because I think you got the topic I was talking about, right? The moral of the story. So, stop trying to make it work and make it work. Stop trying to prove to yourself you're special and win. Trying allows the possibility of failure, so there is a way that this won't work. But if you fundamentally believe that it can be done, it will be done. Let me repeat that. If you fundamentally believe that it can be done, it will be done. There's no such thing as "let me try Reddit." No, become the best at it. Do it. Nothing's stopping you. So I always try to follow the statement. State the facts and tell the truth. Apply this to yourself and be honest with yourself. Hey, I should probably stop trying to do all these stupid methods that are short-term and build something big for the long term. Something that's sustainable, something that's actually a business, something that's actually impressive. Not trying out a new method every month until it gets patched. And I know some guy is gonna say, oh, it takes a lot of time. I thought OFM was easy. Well, newsflash, you can be broke and busy. If you aren't making money right now, get busy. If you're making money, you're already busy. You can't be both. Pick which one you want to be, either broke or busy. There's no in between. So, focus on the input and get better. If your goal is to have a successful agency, have systems. Have systems in place that make it easy to grow. Have a network of traffic ready at every moment to send to a new model. Stop trying out every possible method. Stop trying Reddit. Stop trying TikTok. Stop trying Instagram. And make it work. And that leads us into the next thing. Copy what others are doing. Perfect. Let's get into it. So, one of the best and most time-efficient things you can do is copy others. The formula is very, very simple. Find someone that achieved the goal you want to achieve and copy them. Find someone that achieved the goal you want to achieve and copy them. It's that simple. It really is that simple. Now, the best way to learn new concepts, in my opinion, is through stories. So let me tell you a quick story. And then I'm going to give you a framework and a solution how to apply it to your situation. So let me tell you an example of this. So over a year ago, right? Right now it's July 2024. So over even a year and a half ago, we saw on TikTok an account that was posting the same 5, 10 to 20 videos, like, I don't know, 15, 10 videos. They were uploading the same video every single day, 3 to 5 videos. And they were constantly the same. How weren't they getting limited? How the heck were they uploading these videos and not getting limited? And they would get millions of views. It was like one of the biggest TikTok OFM accounts. They would constantly get views, and we were shocked. We were so angry because when we tried to re-upload the same videos, what did we get? We got 0 views, we got shadow bans, of course, the typical stuff, right? And so we got very angry. And then we thought, wait a second, if they can do it, we can do it. We just gotta figure out the in-between. How? We had our desired state. We wanted to do what they did, upload the same video to TikTok multiple times. But we had an obstacle. We didn't know how to do it, but we knew it was possible because they were doing it. So then we started testing out, we started digging around, we started researching for days how to do it. And that's exactly how the TikFusion repurpose bot came to be. Let me show you something. This is a folder from May 2023. Look at how many different versions, and there were not even 5 times more than this, realistically 10 times more than this. So many versions that we tested out, you know, like take a look at how our repurpose bot looked in the past. Look at this. At the start, we were just trying out the video bitrate, audio bitrate, and frame rate, you know. These are all different versions, all of them. And what is this? October, yeah. In October, we had this repurpose bot. So this was the repurpose bot we sold at the time. Take a look at this. This was everything that was enough to repurpose content back in the day. Video bitrate, audio, frame rate, contrast, zoom, speed, pixel size, cutting video, volume, and noise. This was everything we had. And this is also even a bit of a newer version. We had another one before this. And so this was the whole process. We tested out so many variations for months. We would like upload so many videos a day, created at least 3 to 5 accounts per day, but it was realistically double that. It was at least 3 to 5. Even if you were feeling hella lazy that day, you would create 3 to 5 accounts. So we had so many variations of our repurpose bot until we realized what worked. So as I said, this repurpose bot was good for its time. It was good for its time, but then this got patched. Repurposing became much harder. Then, of course, we created our TikFusion repurpose bot, the newer version. And it just goes to show you, copy what others are doing. We saw it was possible, so we put months of work into figuring out how they did it until we did it even better than them and got even better results. And this also ties into the topic why all repurpose bots in the OFM space are terrible. Like, they're terrible. They don't even work. Like, all of them have a sign that the main thing you use it for is like Instagram, TikTok, and stuff like that. And the main thing that they're for, they always say, oh, it's in beta. So it doesn't even work. They're still developing it. And they've been developing it for over a year, and no one can figure out how it works. And that's because The problem with other repurpose bots in the OFM space is they usually just pay a developer to create it, and the owner doesn't even use their own repurpose bot, they just sell it. We actually tested out every single possible feature you can imagine for months until we formed a repurpose bot that works. That's why our product is actually amazing and people love it. So, in the past 18 months, we created over 1,500 TikTok accounts and uploaded tens of thousands of videos using repurposed content. And that's exactly what I said at the start. That's why we can say what no one else can say and show what no one else can show. We simply copied something that worked for someone else and recreated their success. Now, how can you apply this to your situation? Find an agency that has great success with TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, whatever you're trying to do, and copy them. And we kept that mentality around everything. When we aren't sure how to approach a problem, we simply look at how people that are a step ahead of us solved it. If you aren't sure how to run a network of Instagram accounts, take a look at how someone else who has a network of IG accounts runs them. It's that simple. Invest a couple of hours, maybe even days if you have to, and find out exactly how they run their operation and recreate it. It might even take a few months, but again, you can't be broke and busy. Pick your poison. You're either one, you can be both. If you aren't making any money right now, get the fucking work. So define your desired state, copy the person or agency who has the state you want, see what works for them and copy it. And so this ties me into our next topic, and that's the 5 types of people in the OFM industry, and generally in life and business also. So this lesson can be applied to all realms of life. So I want to tell you about the 5 types of people. There is positive active. That's the first kind. Positive active. Those are the people that tell you, show me, it physically can't be done. Those are the Roger Bannisters. Roger Bannister in 1950 something. He was the first person to break the 4-minute mile. Before him, it was believed the 4-minute mile was impossible. And then, after he ran the 4-minute mile, dozens of other people after him in the following weeks ran the 4-minute mile also. How was it that it was never broken, but once one person broke it, a dozen different people broke it also? That's because the first is positive active. I know it can be done and I'm gonna do it, unless you physically show me it can be done. Then we get to the second type of people. The positive passive. Those are the kind of people that ran the 4-minute mile after Roger Bannister. They're the type of people to say, hey, if you do it, I'll do it too. You had success, I can achieve the same thing, if not better. And it's a great mentality to have. It's the exact mentality we had when we copied the repurpose bot from the people that we saw it worked for them. If they can do it, why can't we? Then you have the neutral passive. And those are the people, well, hey, let's see if it works. Let's see how it works. Let's see if it works. I'm gonna try and see. And it's an okay attitude to have. It's okay. And then we get to the negatives. Then you have the negative passive. The negative passive types of people are the ones that are gonna be like, yeah, it's probably not gonna work for me. It's probably not gonna work for me. It worked for you, but it probably won't work for me. And it's a very dangerous mentality to have. It stops you from doing a lot of things. You won't even go the extra mile or effort to achieve it because it probably won't work for you. And lastly, my favorite type of people, you have the negative active. So they share the same personality as the first one, the best types of people. The positive active, as in they are active. The negative active are active, and that's a very good trait to have. To be active about something, but they got it. But they're active in the wrong sector. They're negative. They're the one that say, I'm special. Yeah, I can't lose weight. Yeah, there's no way I could make this work. Yeah, I can't make money like that. You can, but I can't. And they're gonna go out of their way to prove you wrong. Yeah, this is why it doesn't work for me. Well, technically, I can't lose weight because my bone structure. They're actively gonna try to prove you wrong. They're the worst kind of people to be. But here's an interesting fact. The fifth type of people, the negative active, are the most likely to have a drastic change and go to positive active, to the best type of people. Because once they realize, hey, am I actually being negative? Then they realize they're focusing their energy in the wrong thing. What if I actually did everything as it was going to work? That's the mentality shift. What if I actually did everything like it was going to work? I acted like it was going to work. I did everything as it was going to work and that I knew for certain. What if I knew for certain it's gonna work? Well, I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna win. Those are the most interesting types of people, and they will always try to prove you wrong, but they can become the best types of people very quickly with a simple mentality shift. So, be careful which one you choose in the OFM industry. Be careful which one you want to be. Be very careful because it's directly gonna dictate and define the results you achieve or don't achieve. If you have a negative mentality, nothing is gonna work for you. Do everything as it's gonna work 1,000,000%. Tell yourself, yeah, I wanna build a huge network of Instagram accounts and I'm gonna do it. So many other people have done it, well, I'm gonna do it too. For 6 months, every single day, I'm gonna upload on different Instagram accounts. Every single day, I'm gonna create 3 more or 1 more. I'm gonna run over 30 of them successfully, a dozen of them, whatever your goal may be. I'm gonna show up every day because I know it's gonna work. I'm gonna upload those videos. I'm gonna create 1 extra account. I'm gonna put in the extra work because I know it's gonna work. That's the type of person you want to be to win. Not that I'm gonna actively try to prove you wrong. Why this exact method won't work for me. Here's why this method you shared will never work for me. You don't wanna be like that. And lastly, I wanna talk about planning, results, inputs and outputs, and consistency. Very quickly. This is gonna be a short one. So, winners and losers both have the same goals. Winners are focused on the activities it takes to win, and losers focus on the goal. That's why winners win and losers lose, okay? So, instead of just focusing, hey, like an empty goal, oh, I want to reach 10K a month, I want to reach 50K a month, focus on the activities that will bring you your goal. Hey, if I want to achieve X amount, I'm probably going to have a network of accounts. I'm probably going to have 1,000,000+ followers. I'm probably going to have good chatters, good systems in place. Focus on the thing that's going to make you the money, on the activities that will help you reach your goal. Not saying, yeah, it would be cool to be an online pimp. I'm going to drive a Lambo. I'm going to be like Andrew Tate. No, actually do the things that will bring you there. You have to focus on the activity. So you have to think, what's the goal? What problem are you solving right now? So hey, I'm stuck. What's the goal? Define your current state, your desired state, and the obstacle you have to overcome to get there. If you don't, you'll just be running around like a headless chicken, like without any goal. Because you're in that state, you're gonna do a lot of work, but you're not gonna progress if you don't have a clear goal. Goals don't make you unique. Action does. If you want 10x the output, so you're making $1,000 and now you want to make $10,000. You have 100K followers on Instagram, you want 1,000,000. You're gonna have to 10x the input. There is no results from nothing. You have to put in something to get something. There's no something from nothing. 10x the input and you're gonna get 10x the output. And be consistent. Simply put, volume negates luck. Volume, do more. If you want better and quicker results, do more. Create more accounts, put in more work. Do the extra thing, go the extra mile. Work. Set yourself actionable goals, not empty goals. Again, Set yourself goals for things you can do every single day, not things you dream of, like, oh, I want to have a lot of money. Oh. No. Goals that are actions. Hey, I'm gonna upload 5 videos every day, just for example. Something that's an action, not an empty goal. I want to hit 10K. Okay, how are you gonna do it? So in short, set yourself goals that make sense, like build a network of TikTok and Instagram accounts that amass to 1 million followers, and then the steps it takes to achieve that, and that's how you get your goal, not just saying you want to achieve it. And I fundamentally believe that almost everyone in the OnlyFans industry, even the high achievers, I think almost everyone lacks basic business knowledge. So I genuinely tried to explain in this video as much as I could and pack as much value and business lessons into as little time as possible. I hope you found that valuable, as I wanted to compact as many little business lessons and mentality shifts you have to succeed so you could apply it in owning an agency or being your own creator that wants to grow. I hope all of the things mentioned made sense. I think that's everything I want to talk about. And if you have any genuine questions or need help with a problem you've been dealing with for a while regarding TikTok or something similar, post your question in the comments or contact me on Telegram at RenatoOFM. I'll also leave my Telegram in the description. And please don't ask me stupid questions. You're just gonna get blocked. If the answer to your question is literally one Google search away, please don't ask the question. And I think that's everything. Now, check out techfusion.com and have a good one.